Working hard for something we do not care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. Simon Sinek. Hey friend, welcome back. So the entire point of today's lesson is to have you walk away with a clarifying statement, or two, or three, that will help you to, one, clarify your strong passion and emotional reasons for engaging in this course, and two, just as importantly, build an insurance policy against abandoning this process when you're just not feeling it. Why start with why? Like I just alluded to, this why statement we'll be working on today is what I'll have you return to down the road when you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or fed up with this whole budgeting process thingy. And let me just go ahead and acknowledge that kind of like the growth mindset lesson, this exercise may feel a little fluffy or theoretical to you, but I can assure you that it's not. Over the past decade, the number of students I've been able to gently encourage against abandoning their financial progress by revisiting this why statement numbers in the thousands. So my ask of you here is to take this seriously as though your very financial future depends on it, because I believe it does. Okay, let's talk about the two ways we normally learn, and I promise that by the end of this section, you'll have everything you need to start formulating your why. Number one, sometimes we learn by induction, meaning we can look at someone else's mistakes or we can look at general principles of wisdom so that we avoid driving into a ditch. Or two, we more often have to learn things the hard way by experiencing the pain of bad decisions. Sound familiar? I know, me too. Unfortunately, the pain option is the case for most of us, including me, if you recall my $174,000 debt nightmare story. But the most important thing about the pain way is that it can become an all-important triggering event for radical and necessary change. All this means is that there's usually some kind of external event that brings us face to face with some rather unsavory realities we may otherwise be trying to either suppress or ignore. Maybe the trigger for you looks like one or more of the following scenarios. You don't have enough money to float all of your expenses this month, and you're a little freaked out about it. Your HVAC unit just bit the dust in the middle of July in Florida and has totally thrown your money and life into chaos. Or perhaps, more proactively, you see an event on the horizon that you know needs to be dealt with, and you also know that you're not prepared for it. Like the kids are getting older and the college conversation is starting to happen, or needing an extended vacation or sabbatical from your work because of extreme burnout, like I had to do, or wanting to be able to do more with friends and family, like eating out or taking that vacation without causing a personal financial forest fire, feeling the desire to be more generous with people you know would be blessed by it, or maybe you're overall just really tired of being broke and being behind the 8 ball financially, and you're totally ready to change course. And like I mentioned earlier, thinking through your trigger will be excellent fodder for you to formulate your strong, passionate, and emotional why, which is what we're going to talk about next. Let's start by asking some questions that will help you better articulate your strong, passionate, emotional reasons you need to define your why. And by the way, these questions are on the downloadable PDF companion worksheet for this lesson. So go ahead and download that if you want to populate that either in written form or as an electronically fillable PDF. What do you want the future to look like? If you could change one thing you'd like to be able to do or to do differently in a year, what would that be? Where do you see yourself in 1 to 10 years? Can you imagine what waking up every day would feel like if you were out of debt and well on your way to financial independence? What does financial freedom mean to you? With all those questions answered, you can now formulate your overall why. And there also may be some cases where your why is actually a who. We see that with a good number of our students. To drive home the importance of what you've hopefully just done, let me repeat a quote that will hopefully be encouraging to you. What you do proves what you believe. Simon Sinek. Think about that for a minute. What you do proves or is evidence of what you believe. By completing this exercise, you're taking a giant step toward the promise that if you master this budgeting thing, you will never have to worry about your money again. Conclusion and call to action. Okay, I know we've covered a lot of ground in this lesson. Hopefully I've been able to impress upon you that starting with why is the absolute most critical move you can make when beginning this budgeting journey. What all of this means is that if you've digested this content, you'll have all the tools you need to really analyze your thought process around getting in and staying in this budgeting posture. Now I want to prod you to take action using the worksheet included with this lesson. To capitalize on any emotional momentum you've gotten from this lesson, go ahead and download and populate the Start With Why fillable PDF worksheet. Relax, take your time, and really think through and work through your thoughts and emotions. Then, once you've completed it and formulated your overall why statement, I'd love for you to share it with us in the comments. Okay, before we move on to the next lesson, I want to share a couple of bonus insights that may give you a little more context around this Start With Why concept. This is called Simon Sinek's Golden Circle concept. So most people start down the path to pursuing their financial goals backwards, like from the outside in. This golden circle is just a mental model that enumerates how most of us naturally think about learning any new skill or tackling a new project. In short, most of us start with what and work inward, like the outside in, but it's best to start with why and work outward, i.e. from the inside out. So instead of starting with what or how, I want you to start with why. Hope you find that little piece of insight helpful, and I'll see you in the next lesson where we're going to help you set some realistic expectations about the next 90 days of your budgeting process. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next lesson.